Hello, Scotch lovers.
Hey, everybody.
How's it
Scotch
going?
for Dummies here. All three of us.
New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, everybody. I need a whiskey here.
Oh, hang on.
I get a good one.
Oh, you got the Balakin.
Oh, I got the Balakin. Okay.
Is that just a random sampling you've got there?
I got these are leftover samples plus other stuff, and we decided, hey, let's just pull from this tonight. So we're pulling. I got a Balakin. I don't know what Balakin, but
It just says Balakin.
Balakin.
And that's what I was finishing off. So, yeah, this is just, Drew said, find something good to drink. And so I came up with this tray and said, we're just going to randomly
all the
pull.
stuff behind this.
I don't know. Actually, the last bottle he drank, it just had a number on it. It said number 2.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It was chocolatey. I wasn't sure what it was. It wasn't Muna. Maybe Muna. I don't know.
Anywho,
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Cheers to you, Andrew.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to
Obviously, there are 3 of us. Sean is out. Andrew is at his place due to social distancing, if you will. And we're at Drew's. And happy to see everybody
Happy to
else.
see you.
Man.
Welcome.
It's 2022.
Our first live show of 2022.
We survived the holidays.
Woo! Good Lord, what a year so far. Oh, man.
Let's just come on, man. Let's make it better.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about whiskey tonight. We're going to talk about
whiskey
stuff. It's right.
And
Scotch,
actually, I
maybe
got
good.
some whiskeys for Christmas. We're going to talk about that. If people are already Skyping the what's on the bar,
I'm sure you know they are.
kind of interesting as to what we received for Christmas this year. But let's see who we got.
Andrew, who do we have on tonight?
What you got?
Well, Steve A signed in at 8:37, so he's probably the first one in. Paul M, Green Valley, John Kranz, more Steve A and Paul. Let's see, getting closer to 10 o'clock. Steve Rogers comes in, Nurse Dave's Shaving World, Alejandro, Everwin, Chris B, Stuff for Work, The Blocklinger, Francois Nollet,
Green Valley,
Alan Newland, Zach, Chad Anderson. So Hazel number 13, Oloroso is in Chad's glass. That sounds like a good pick.
Ooh.
Wesley and Cody.
Man.
Ronan.
Here.
Oh, wow. Check this out.
I got
Yeah,
some
I see
Facebookers
Ronan.
too. Cody's on Facebook.
Prescription Bourbon. You stay tuned there, buddy. This is going to be a fun show for you.
Yeah. DB is she. D's
Hey,
in.
man.
And
I
Aaron,
like,
let's see so far.
I like this because this is usually, but I mean, we did.
It's
I didn't
not what we
either.
expected.
We were talking about that before we went on live, that I didn't get any Christmas whiskey. I've got so much whiskey as it is, and I didn't ask for any Christmas whiskey, and my wife isn't a natural whiskey picker, so that's all right.
Well, that's kind of the thing, and we're gonna get into it in a little bit here. But it's like, what do you buy your not normal average whiskey drinker that has pretty much?
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, any of our family or friends wants to buy us a bottle of Scotch. There's really not a bottle they're going to pick up within a local 25, 30-mile radius that they're going to surprise us with, or we probably haven't had or don't have already. And so,
I mean, don't get me wrong, we're going to love it,
oh,
accept
absolutely,
it, no matter what, if you're watching.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
true.
I would think if my family members would have a hard time picking whiskey for me.
Well, you know what usually happens is hey, Drew, or hey, Mark, hey, what does Andrew need, or what does Mark need? I'm like, listen, I actually got that call this year, and I go, don't buy him any more whiskeys. The dude has more than he can. I mean, he doesn't need any more whiskeys. He doesn't even open like 90% of them.
Actually, you were telling me, I think my son actually called Drew to find out what to get me first.
And I said, listen, the only thing I can think of is maybe some golf stuff.
Yeah, because he's not buying me Scotch. Or at least he better not be. I'd be a little bit.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, it was a good holiday season for me. I mean, it was actually probably a little quieter than most, and that was okay. That was fine. I think we had fairly decent weather. We didn't get beat up. We did a little traveling. We visited with family and friends, and but honestly, I think we're the only people on the street that still have our decorations up. But that's because we're just too damn busy.
Yeah, I went to St. Louis this year, like I always do every New Year's. Now, Christmas actually was kind of not a great Christmas. I got sick, but it was all sinus, at least from what I could tell, and it wasn't fun. So being sick in Christmas isn't great. But it only lasted 2 or 3 days, and I was fine. No, tested negative. Anyway, went to St. Louis and had a great time with family, and do that every year. So it's always good to do that. So it's always nice. At the end of the day, I was off work for 2 weeks, which is. That's always a great thing.
Hard to go back to work.
It is. So just taking those time off, you don't realize. I mean, my first time I ever took 2 weeks off was with you and went to Scotland for vacation, and it blew me away. Like how awesome that was. Like normally you just take a week when you go places like that. It's like you're back at work, right? With 2 weeks, it was great.
You get used to it. You kind of really get.
I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere else unless I'm going for 2 weeks.
Right. Hey, I see Bobby J's here and Bob H. Missed you guys on the pre-show. And Brad Murphy, man. Look at that guy down under. Happy New Year, Matthew. Andrew actually made it over. Andrew and his family made it to my house on Christmas morning. They came over for a little while.
Had a couple grams.
Yeah, actually, we did open some of these bottles that we're going to talk about that day. But you guys actually stayed in town. Now, you didn't go really out of town, did you, for Christmas?
For Christmas, no. Afterwards, though, we did go to Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, for the
that's right,
Music
for the
City
Purdue
Bowl.
Game. Yeah. That was a hell of a game too. You guys
man, that was so much fun.
Yeah,
so
you guys got a good one.
We got in town, and there were some fifth row tickets that were under market and or under face value, and we got those. It surprised my son with those. So my son goes to Purdue, and my wife and we took my son and his girlfriend. And we went to Nashville for the Music City Bowl and just had a blast. I mean, it was so much fun. The crowd was a record for the Music City Bowl. There were like 69,250 people or something in the stands. New record. There's probably 90% Tennessee fans and 10% Purdue fans. So it was all orange. I mean, the whole stands were orange. I don't know how many times I heard Rocky Top during the time I was there, but it ended up last overtime field goal won the game for Purdue, and it was just glorious. So
yes, that was awesome. We were watching it on TV. I was looking for you. I didn't see you.
Yeah, we didn't get the camera.
He was the only one wearing gold, right?
He's the only one wearing black and gold.
That's just about right. It was a lot of fun, though.
Hey, so tonight's topic, guys, is live Q&A, and we thought we'd also kind of do just some hodgepodge of stuff for Christmas and some other topics, and we got some Scotch in the news for you as well. But for tonight's show, if you want, use the comments. If you have a question for us, you want us to answer, just put in Q, comma, or colon, and then your question, and we'll get to it. Andrew, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but StreamYards came out with a new function in the chat that you can star them. So if you see some questions, just star them, and then it'll group up to them so we can come back to them and get them in blocks.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Scotch coming my way from 4,300 miles.
That's right. We have something to talk about next week or two with that. That's gonna be pretty interesting, actually, and some video content, I believe, as well.
Yeah, so. And to further the topics that Drew is getting into, the Scotch in the news, there's some really interesting things going on in the wide world of the Scotch industry. So if you guys have anything that you want to point out or bring up, I invite you to get involved in the conversation, because I think it's kind of interesting, and I'm very interested to see where the industry goes in 2022. And it's actually, there's a couple of wrap-ups from 21 that were kind of interesting about different sales records or brands and how they performed and stuff.
That was really interesting. Andrew was talking about that pre-show a little bit. It's interesting to know the number one, number two. Number one's obvious, but number two is interesting.
Yeah,
we'll go through that in a minute.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to talk through first while the questions come in? You want to start talking about some of the gifts you got, Mark?
Yeah, sure. So I'll go through those that I just brought over because Drew's got a couple of interesting ones too. I got 4 bottles on Christmas Day. The first one actually was a Scotch, and it was for my wife. It's not anything crazy special or expensive, and she bought it literally just because of the name. Because it says Black Dog, and we had a black lab that was literally a favorite of the family, and he's not with us anymore. So she bought it to kind of, remind me of Guinness. That was the name of our dog, and so it's called Black Dog.
That's interesting. Wow.
Black Reserve, aged and rare. It's a blended Scotch. That Christmas Day I looked it up, and it doesn't have an age statement on it, but I'm pretty sure that I was able to find an age on the research, and now I can't remember what it is. Maybe 10 years. I didn't open this one yet. I can't remember. I think it was maybe a $30 bottle.
That font is uber small.
Something in that nature. Anyway, it's an interesting. There's an interesting story as to the label with a little fly fishing. Yeah, batch number 1. I don't know what the hell that means. Anyway, it wasn't bought because it was like some special whiskey or anything. It was bought because of the name. And so, all right, it's cool. A Scotch though. I'm sure I'll open it at some point in time, but for a long time, it's just going to sit there and remind me of our old Black Lab Guinness, our pal, which I'm drinking a Guinness to honor that guy. Actually, I'm drinking it because Drew asked me if I wanted one and it sounded good. Then the other 3 bottles I got aren't Scotch at all, which I kind of laughed when it was all said and done because they're everything but Scotch.
This one's cool.
So I'm sure.
And it's actually a really great gift for you.
It is. So I all you guys that are bourbon drinkers will have heard of this. It's blackened, right? And I guess there's multiple versions of this from talking to some of the guys in the pre-show. This isn't the Weller version. This is just the regular blackened. It's batch 122, which we learned in the pre-show that you can go to their website and look up the playlist that was played to the barrels of this whiskey. And that's how they age it. They're playing Metallica music to hopefully infuse, basically shake the wood and make more flavor, I guess. But anyway, the playlist that this bottle was created to makes me happy because it's much more old school Metallica than it is the new school Metallica.
So you can go. We didn't know. Actually, I think Steve A told us about this, and you can go and pick your batch number from the drop down from the playlist, and yours is batch 122.
Yeah.
And we looked it up, and man, did it hit your wheelhouse for playlist?
Man, right. I mean, the first 2 songs, Whiplash and Battery. I'm like, well, man, give me another bottle, right? I mean, come on. Then it goes to 1, The Four Horsemen, The Day That Never Comes. I could do without that. But Damage Incorporated, one of my favorite all-time Metallica songs.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those songs. And it's if this guy, I mean, he's a super metalhead. He loves Metallica, and so that's a great. Honestly, I don't know if it was just because.
No, that's why she bought it.
Okay, that's a great gift. I mean, if I would have saw that and knew the story, I would have got it for you too, just for that reason alone.
Actually, all 3 bottles that my sister got for me have something to do a theme. They're something that we share. That doesn't matter. She bought me this bottle of Rebel Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% ABV. Again, nothing special, I don't think. Defiantly Smooth Wheated Bourbon. Okay, but
wheated bourbon.
That's what it says.
You guys have opened this one.
Yeah, we opened all 3. I mean, I don't even remember. Andrew and I opened them on Christmas, and I know we preferred one over the other when we were drinking them there, but that was 3 weeks ago, guys, or whatever. But she bought me this one because it made her think of. She thought it said Rebel Yell. When she bought it, she thought it said Rebel Yell, and she's like, when I got it home and I saw it only said Rebel, I was pissed, but I already bought it, so you're getting it, And I'm like, that's all right. We were supposed to go see Billy Idol together this year, and I had to back out on her to go to a wedding. So that I know why she bought that one.
Oh, I like these so far. She's got good taste.
And then this one
also fits your wheelhouse.
Joe, it's Yellowstone Select Bourbon Whiskey, 93% proof, or 93% proof, 93 proof. I have no idea what this really is or why, but she bought it because she knows I'm really into the show Yellowstone right now.
You guys are really into it. I have yet to finish after the second episode.
It has nothing to do with the whiskey. She bought it because of the name, and she knows we're really watching that show. So
you guys put a hurt in that one a little bit.
I just have to laugh at I am not the bourbon guy of the 4 dummies, right? And I ended up with 3.
You get more bourbon than anyone, right?
It's like,
But they're cool because they are you. They
absolutely.
can totally see all these.
I'm gonna have fun getting into them. Obviously, Andrew and I already opened them, and you're more than welcome to. I mean, they're open if you want to, see what they're about. Drew, help us out.
I'm not getting into this. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
That's cool.
So, I mean, it's an interesting joke for me because in years past, I have gotten Scotch, right? A bottle of blue, or actually one year, Andrew brought a bottle of double black home for me. Surprised my wife. Worked it out with him. He was coming home from Japan and he bought it travel retail. So there's been some cool stories about whiskey that I've gotten in Christmas over the years, but this one just adds to it.
I love
it.
I think it's really really cool that it's themed your way. That's a cool way to get, if you're getting someone that likes whiskey, but you have no idea, go for something that, is from the heart that that they're going to like from a theme perspective.
And we've been wanting to do a little bit more bourbon. So what? I mean, you got to go through all of them. I mean, you can't just jump into the top ring and skip all the stuff. It's part of the
that's with that many whiskeys out there and that many distilleries, you could come up with a theme and then just search for the bourbons with this theme or whiskey with this theme, and you'll pick so many bottles. That's something I hadn't thought about doing before.
Yeah, not a bad idea. So, Andrew, do we have any questions yet that you saw?
I did see one. So how do we sort by start? Okay, here we go. So number one, I got 3 startup. First one, Mark Burton is a new YouTube member.
Oh, actually, new member.
I like the name.
You can be a YouTube member. I think it's if you haven't yet, there's some custom emojis. We're going to work on some new emojis this year and a couple other things. But I think you just sign up at the bottom of the YouTube link there if you're not. So
yeah, I don't think it costs anything.
No, I think it costs like $1.
Oh, does it?
And then Chad Anderson says that black dog is going to make you burn, make you sting. So,
of course it is, Chad.
Hey, work a little Zeppelin in.
All right, and of course, Alejandro is in with the first question. I recently learned that the new Island distillery, Ardnaho, has put out the first whiskey called Scarbus. It is young, but I heard it's pretty good. Have you tried it? I have not tried it. Now, one thing I did notice going through I think people may have already answered this, but I don't know the latest on that. So
hang on a second. So when on our 6-year anniversary, when we went downtown, Chris Wheelhouse, Everwind. Why did I say Wheelhouse? Everwind.
Well, he was there too.
Yeah, because he was there. Everwind bought a bottle, and I don't remember.
I don't think he bought that bottle, but I thought we tried it. I think he had a bottle there.
So yeah, Rostislav said it's not Ardnaho. So,
it wasn't. It was another distillery, right?
Okay.
I have not seen that bottle yet, Alejandro. I actually read something about it. It was either today or yesterday, but I don't know where we're going to get it from.
Everyone just said it.
Yeah.
Arden Munchin.
Yep. Arden Munchin.
Arden Munchin.
Close enough. Ardnaho, Arden Munchin.
Arden Munchin.
But I'm curious to see what becomes of it, because whatever you're going to get right now is 3 years old.
Barely.
I mean,
open
up the bottle and that's it.
Legally.
Yeah. So, the jury's out, Alejandro.
We'll find out. As soon as we can get our hands on the bottle, we'll do a review on it. Well, we'll try to do a review. What else you got?
All right, Mark, this one's for you. Are there any reliable online options to buy Scotch?
I cannot find Dalmore in my country, and I'm dying to get my hands on the King.
Wow, so the King, man. The King is good.
Yeah, Matthew, there are some reliable online options, and I can really work with you on that. And actually, you might see some comments, because a good portion of the people in the comments right now are also pretty astute when it comes to buying Scotch online. I guess there's a couple of things that I would have to know more about you as far as what country you're in, so that we can really start honing in this shipping and whether it's legal or not. But it's possible. We should be able to find you a bottle of the King. That one's not.
That should be hard. That's a very common bottle.
Right.
I think you'd be. Here's my suggestion is get on our Discord. If you're not a member of our Discord yet, join our Discord. It's in our description of our YouTube videos. I'm sure Steve A will post you a link here as well. Get on our Discord channel. It's a massive community that we have built, And I can tell you right now, there are a dozen people that will jump on immediately and help you find that bottle
That's
online
true.
somewhere with good advice. So our Discord channel, if you guys are watching and you're new to the channel, our Discord community is massive. And I can tell you right now that, we're dummies. They're not. They're experts. And they know a lot of stuff about a lot of whiskey and a lot of places. So it's a great way to kind of, I kind of feel like it's our own version of Reddit, because people just ask away and the answers get taught.
There's different channels, from music to movies it's a good community, and there's always conversation.
Always. It's great.
Trinidad and Tobago, maybe I just need to hand deliver a bottle. Shit.
Steve put it up there, so
there you go.
there's the link.
But we'll get you squared away, Matthew. We'll get something. We'll figure something out. You'll have a bottle of the King.
All right.
All right. So why don't you let's let Drew talk about his whiskey that he got, because he got some whiskey, but then he also got this other.
I got a few things. Yeah. So bring some of those bottles out. I'm actually going to open one of them.
Which one are you going to open?
So I think some of you have heard of this. I know on our Patreon Zoom we did
pre-show
this week and the last week, I think, whenever we did it. I got these as a Christmas gift, and it's kind of the same situation as yours. I got these from some work colleagues, great friends, and they obviously know what I do here, and it's the same situation. It's like, what do you get someone that does all this? And what I love about this is this person got me these bottles because they went on a tour in California and they had a tasting sample, and she thought of me and what I do while she was there, or because she was there. Anyway, this is Redwood Empire. I think these are the same bottles I have in front here. I have a screen in front of me. So we have the Redwood Pipe Dream. We've got the Lost Monarch and the Emerald Giant. And so these are kind of eclectic whiskeys from Northern California, and they're all based off of the huge redwood trees that grow out there. And so each one of these have a story based on where they are. One's a rye, one is a bourbon whiskey, and I can't remember the other one.
Blended straight.
Yeah, blended straight. So I'm actually going to open up the Pipe Dream. I think it's a Pipe Dream, and give this one a
sample. Bourbon whiskey.
Bourbon whiskey
with an E.
Whiskey.
Whiskey with
I'm excited about it. And another thing too, the design's cool, the labeling's cool, and the bottle's cool. It's like, it's tall like at Redwood. So they've got some pretty good branding going on as well. So very excited to try these. I really love the fact that I get stuff that's unique. And I kind of think I don't know, Andrew, if you've got any comments as well, but that's kind of the cool thing about the whiskey world that we're in. We mostly drink Scotch, and there's still tons of stuff we've never had, but there's so much more in whiskey in general out there, right?
Yeah, that's one of the best things is, I can talk to you about Scotch all day. I can't talk to you about American whiskey all day. I can't talk about bourbon. But when somebody suggests a bottle to you or provides a bottle or, talks about that, it's all the more you like it already. You like it more than you would have if you just bought it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because, whiskey is better when it's shared. And the fact that somebody is either providing it to you or recommending it to you is the initial part of that sharing. And so then you can drink it and you can talk to them about it. And stuff for work and Kyle Brady both recognize Redwood Empire. They like their stuff. So, all right, we've got 3 people already saying, let's go for it. So that is cool. That is really cool. I never, ever probably would have heard of that where we live.
Exactly. That's kind of the journey that we're getting into, right? I mean, it's like people, I think of Pierre, like this is when we started 6 years ago, we didn't know about half of the whiskey that we're drinking. And this is another area. It kind of excites you to kind of figure out. And even more to your point, Andrew, because it's thoughtfulness of someone bought this of you in mind because of some reason or other. And so it makes you even more intrigued to taste it and try it out.
I smell buttery pancakes.
Really?
I wiped it. Some dripped on the table on the bar.
Sounds good.
I put it on my hands. And yeah.
I mean, it's like what this summer we went to, fall, whatever. the Still Austin. We hadn't heard of them just because
Yes.
we're not in Austin.
Yes,
so
exactly.
great whiskey. There were other distilleries, other Texas distilleries that were at the Masters Ball there. That great whiskey.
Really,
And,
really.
and there was this little one we hadn't heard of before called, I think it was Balcones.
I never heard. Of is that a new whiskey?
Bill
Is it
Canaz,
Oklahoma?
something like that. Yeah. So I expect Zach to put up a comment here in a second.
Zach is yelling at us. I can feel him yelling through the phone somewhere out there
Zach
right
just
now.
threw something at his
He
TV.
threw something, yeah. It is interesting. You think of like places like Balcones.
Hey, Mark, is this what it smells like?
I can't. Hang on. Drew's
Mars
got the wrong-
pancakes?
Huh? Oh.
DBC said it looked
Pancakes?
like
Yeah.
Mars pancakes.
Maybe not quite so almondy, but
It does have. It has a flower nose to it. A little bit of.
Zach Andrews taking it as a personal attack.
No, it's not personal attack.
no more than his picture with the test dummies on the Scotch for Dummies live show.
A little bit of spree in there too in the nose.
Spree? Did you say sprees?
What?
Yeah, and some corn.
If I have my son run a glass down, can he?
I don't get the heavy corn that I would normally get on a typical bourbon.
Are they bourbons or are they just whiskeys?
Oh, that is some serious pepper finish. Wow. That's an interesting taste.
So they're officially bourbons of what ABV?
No, this one
45?
that we're trying is a bourbon. The middle one, the Lost Monarch, is a blend of straight whiskeys, and then the Emerald Giant is a rye. Yeah, so the bourbon, it is. I don't want to say so much light. I hate to use the word smooth, but my gosh, man, there's not.
It's almost like a very watered down. Like you first get there and like, oh, it's gonna be sweet. No, it's really watered down, smooth.
And then there's an edge that comes in.
And then you get smacked in the face with pepper, and then you get this aftertaste that goes away quickly.
It does.
And then you're just chewing on some leather and something else.
So it's 45%.
Poppy seed, maybe
45% ABV.
So it's unique.
It's an interesting
I like
experience.
I like it. It's good. It's unique. I gotta taste some more and appreciate it some more. But
4 years old, I think, is what the age is.
Very light, Andrew. Very light. So that was one of the gifts I got, and then I got another one,
which is kind of fun.
This is interesting too. I think Andrew's gonna like this the most.
I think you're right. Andrew, check this out.
And you might not be able to see it because it's a white kind of box.
I'm gonna put you in that.
Yeah,
I can't see that.
So these it's white right here. These are bottles. Glare. That helps. But basically, it's an infusion. It's a cocktail. It's called mini nightcap mini bar, and it's an infusion blends with alcohol and spirits. So you have to bring your own alcohol, of course. But basically, there are 3 empty bottles, and it comes with I think there were 4. Were there 4 packs in there? 3 packs.
So there's 3 bottles, 3 packages of infusion sort of blends, like almost like a tea kit, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
So here's you had recipes for each one, and you've got different packages here. So you've got
it's like a package that you would think there's like tea in there or something in there.
They're herbs, right? Or
spice
something.
packets.
Yeah, spice packages and stuff. And I got basically blank bottles in here. So it comes with 3 cocktails, citrus and soda, basic simple syrup, something or other. I can't open up the other one, but it's interesting because basically you're making your own cocktail infusion with some your own flavors, etc. So
right. So the 3 flavors are a citrus blend, smoky blend, and chocolate blend. And you pour these into the empty bottles they give you, and you put your spirit on top of it. I'm going to assume something very base, vodka,
like vodka?
or something like that.
probably vodka. Yeah.
I would assume vodka, but and maybe, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're really looking for. We didn't read the instructions. I just thought this looks like something fun. I'm waiting for him to do it because I want to try it once he does do it.
Yeah. So the citrus blend is ginger, lemon, some other stuff I can't pronounce. Chocolate blend, vanilla. I can't even read some of this stuff. Fruits, cocoa shells, and then a smoky blend, cayenne black. What does that say?
Lapsang.
Lapsang. But interesting. It's going to be interesting to kind of put some of this stuff together. And
it'll be fun to see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll turn into one of these master blenders.
Yeah. You might get Dr. Scotch to help me do that because he's chemical.
Yeah, he might have a little more to say, and at least he can come to the table with the right spirit. Because I really don't even know what to tell you. You know, I mean, I would say a base vodka.
A couple of years ago, I got a gin making kit. I mean, it's more than a couple of years ago, several years ago, where they came with like star anise and some juniper berries and things, and you took a vodka, I think it was, and you infused it for so many weeks, and then you dumped out the aromatics, and you had your own gin, and it was pretty strong. It wasn't. It would take some practice to figure out the right ratios. The ratios I initially thought they provided were too high in my view, but yeah, it's concocting.
Was it drinkable?
Yeah, it was all right. I don't know if we drank it all, quite honestly, but we drank enough of it.
About as good as our infinity bottle.
Well, our infinity bottle turned south because Sean wouldn't let us put anything good in it.
Yeah,
but
put that Monkey Shoulder and the other Glenlivet, whatever red label. John Walker.
Hey, did I see George Kaplan's on? I see Bobby J's typing something to him. So if George is on, I want to say hi to him and Happy New Year.
He is on.
Let's get into a couple more questions before we move on to the next topic of sort of the news and reviews of Scotch industry 2022.
All right, this is one from Alan 10 minutes ago. A favorite blended malt.
What's your favorite blended malt, Andrew?
Probably Monkey Shoulder at this point. The blended malt. So that's going to be multiple distilleries, but all malt full.
Yeah, I've got probably, 3 jump off the back of my mind immediately without even giving it like a lot of thought into some of the more eclectic ones, right? So there's there's definitely a Compass box out there that I probably
okay.
There's is it I want to say that what is it? Is it black something?
Black sheep?
Black Bull, I think is what it's called.
Oh.
I don't know. Anyway, that's not the 3 I'm thinking. The 3 that initially jump off my head that you're probably going to reach for is 1, Monkey Shoulder, 2, Naked Grouse, and 3, Johnny Walker Green Label. Okay, all 3 of those are malts.
The Green Label is going to be a lot more pricey, isn't it?
It's not. 60? It's $60. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Well, and the X by Glenmorangie is now that's a single malt though.
Yeah, it is. It's right back here. It's single.
Yeah, I think you're right. Here it is. A single. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a Compass box blended malt.
King Street.
Yeah, you're
right. And I know that there's the Green Valley Spice Tree. I swear it's Black Bull or something. I've not had many of them, but I've heard really good things about them. But I obviously can't say it's one of my favorites since I've never even had it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing, same 2 as yours. First 2 in Monkey Shoulder and Naked Grouse. I can't tell you. I will say that for years, Monkey Shoulder has been the best dollar ratio to taste and quality out there. But I will say, for my personal taste, I don't go very long in my house without a bottle of Naked Grouse.
I had 3 glasses of it last night.
It's you never feel bad drinking it. It's always sherry influenced, so you're always going to get some of that and some more. Sometimes you even get chocolate out of that. So I just love the Naked Grouse. I got to thank Michael Sunday in the Scotch for putting that in a blind tasting for us years ago. It feels like, and ever since then, I've fallen in love with it. So if you're the question for me is, I would say Naked Grouse overall as a blended Scotch. Monkey Shoulder is right there too. It's more malty than it is sherry, so it's kind of the difference.
Yeah, what he said. Honestly, I like what I like about both of those. And don't get me wrong, I love a freaking cast strength whiskey. I got actually the majority of the whiskey in my bar is cast strength, but there's a time and a place where you just want, a good old fashioned base 43% ABV.
Yeah.
I don't want to break the bank. I just want to have a glass of Scotch tonight, and I don't want to feel guilty about it when I do it because I freaking finally broke into that expensive bottle. So I literally have a bottle of Naked Grouse that I keep in a decanter. So when you walk in to my office, you see this decanter, you don't even know what's in there. I know what's in there. It's Naked Grouse. And why? Because I don't care if it oxidizes a little bit. It's not going to, because I'm going to drink it. And it's only $30. So when it's gone, I can run to the store and get another one and not even bat an eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't feel bad at all.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I agree with you on that.
Okay.
All right, on to the next question, but I think Zach broke a rule here. Question: I think we need a spring bank for Dummy stream. Well, number one, it's not a question.
That's a statement, isn't it?
But I think it may be truth. So I
mean,
had to
sure.
give him credit for that. You tried to
I'm
follow
good
the
with
point.
that.
Zach, are you willing to start that?
Yeah.
We're gonna need some bottles.
Yeah,
Well,
there you go.
More importantly, I want the bottles, but we also need the labor, the man hours.
Yeah.
That would take
All right, what else
forever.
we got?
All right. Can you please give an update on a possible S4D bottling?
Yeah, great question, Chad.
Yeah.
So right before the holidays, we did get an update from, I don't remember if you guys recall, that we were part of a bottle selection with another or group of guys that have the means to bottle whiskey and sell it and ship it basically to all 50 states. And I know that doesn't help you that much, Chad, but we'll figure that out. And they gave us an update. The wheels are still spinning there. We're moving forward, but basically what it looked like is, I think, if I recall, Andrew, correct me, and Drew, I think they said they're going to allocate 70 bottles to us if we wanted.
Yeah, we will have 70 bottles, roughly 70 bottles.
Yeah, so this isn't necessarily a Scotch for Dummies bottle. It's a bottle that Scotch for Dummies
Partnership.
were part of the selection. I mean, we had several samples from an Australian distillery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starward, I believe. And we went through the grind with them. It was a learning experience for me. I'm glad I did it. I think there's going to be a good whiskey in the bottle, and it'll be interesting and it'll be fun. And I'll definitely have one on my bar.
But you have to be a patron to get it. That's the only thing.
Right.
So we have allocations to our patrons for distribution.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way their organization, because they have LLC themselves, and their company has found a very interesting legal way to go about doing this and shipping it and selling it. So technically they're not selling any.
We'll get you the details once we get. But yes, we have basically our name is on a bottle coming, but the end all be all, which I think the original
we really
question
want
is an actual Scotch bottle with our name or something on it. That is still a main goal of ours. We're still hunting the elusive bottle. We've had a couple of short calls with almost getting one, and just it fell through. So
we have a few leads on now, though, with this other company and a few other. There's probably at least two, maybe three that can provide importers, which that's the big hang up for Scotch. If you guys want us to get a bottle of bourbon, we can run down to Kentucky next week.
You can do that every day. Yep.
Yeah.
So Steve was good enough to put up the link to Patreon. So yeah, when this bottle's available, and it should be available in the next couple months, give or take, and it's going to be a pretty affordable bottle too. It's not crazy expensive. I don't think we have a final price on it yet, so we can't announce that. But yeah, become a patron, then you get access to be able to purchase this bottle. We wouldn't put our name on something if we didn't think it was good. In the selection committee, we definitely, I think we definitely influence the decision on which bottle to take. And this bottle fits more of the Scotch style, I think, than other bottles that you might.
That's why they brought us in.
Yeah. Yeah. We wanted this to be like, I mean, it's not Scotch, so we'll admit that right up front. But it has very much more of a Scotch feel as opposed to like a bourbon or something like that. So,
right, we like to think we added value to the decision. So
it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So thanks for the question. Hopefully we'll get something soon. I am excited for that bottle. I'm excited to see that. So, and I am excited for actually getting our own bottle. It's the number one goal for us to do. So it's going to happen.
All right, one from George. Who burns the best toast?
You didn't have to ask this guy.
He knows how to burn it right. All right.
He meant Robert Burns.
That's coming up very soon.
All right. And this actually is a question from Zach. What do you guys need to do a Taste of Texas stream?
That's actually very interesting you said that, because we've got some other Texas stuff in the works too that we need to finalize. So stay tuned, Zach. We'll probably be talking to you for 2022. We are definitely reaching out into the bourbon world, whiskey world, I should say, even Texas whiskey world, maybe others as well. You never know. But
I think that'd be a fun show. I mean, honestly, we've named 3 or 4 brands, distillery brands already tonight that I think we could put them on, and we could get contact. We've got contacts there, and that would be fun. They're producing good whiskey.
The point is, we are experimenting. We are going to branch out. We're going to do some stuff. So stay tuned. It's a great question. We are going to for sure do some fun stuff this year into different worlds other than the Scotch. Scotch is still our number one love, but we're going to experiment.
Yep.
I'm trying to not look at the comments because there's more questions.
I know.
Some of them are missing questions.
I'm trying to let Andrew run it now. He's got them all figured out.
Cole asked a question. I'm answering it in my head, but
All right, so let's hit this one then.
Okay.
Stephen Rogers asked, on average, how many SMWS bottles do you get in a year?
Ooh.
And they love the tasting appearance on the previous few weeks.
That was a fun show. That was a really cool show. It hit me.
Yeah, it did. So let me qualify this, Stephen. You say, do you get in a year? So there's in like last year, we'll use an example. The SMWS provided us a few bottles to do a preview with them. When we do something official with them on their, on their stream where we're doing an outturn or something, they provided those bottles. Now, are you talking about those number of bottles, or are you talking about how many bottles do we collectively buy?
Let's just assume you. Yeah. And I say you because I do my fair share a year as well. But I am definitely nothing compared to this guy on that market. I mean, he for a Scotch for Dummies value, this dude is definitely on the higher weighted balance of buying SMWS bottles. I probably buy about an average between, I would say probably 8 and 10 a year on my average. I think so. Maybe I don't know, maybe somewhere around there. You, I know for a fact, I probably double that at least.
Yeah, I probably got close to 20 bottles last year. And I don't know if this is gonna stick. It's really funny and ironic, maybe serendipitous that you asked the question, because I literally looked at things today.
It's hard
at the budget, right? I looked at the bottles, I looked at the budget, I was paying the bills and stuff. And I was like, man, Mark, you really got to check yourself. At some point in time, you look around and you're like, all right, I don't even have room for this stuff anymore. What am I doing, right? I mean, do I want to go on family vacation, or do I want to buy that SMWS? I think I want to go on vacation.
Yeah, but you can't buy. This is the thing. You can't buy just one.
No,
because you got shipping, and then you got a couple more. So you just bank them and bank them and bank them, and then you end up pulling the trigger, and it's not one bottle's worth; it's 3.
Right. I mean, I'll be honest with you though. I enjoy it. I've never gotten one that I've opened up and been like, oh, and regretted it. Obviously, I like some more than others. That's the nature of, being a human. But at the end of the day, there's never one that I just opened up and my first drink was like, oh, I wish I could send this back. That's
Whiskey Crossing agrees with you. He just quit his SMWS after second non-consecutive member year. Total wallet drain.
It is.
Yes.
Speaking of him, I actually have a sample bottle, I believe. This one might be from him. We got a couple here. No, maybe this is one's from him. We got a couple of Whiskey Crossing samples here. We're gonna try.
We should have, man. If I'd have known he was gonna ask a question and that bottle was there, I would have grabbed it. I grabbed
one of his too.
I grabbed a Glen Scotia. Man, he got one.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I grabbed this Glen Scotia Classic.
That's not him. That's
it's somebody else's. Son of a
gun. Man, that smells good.
Okay. Anyway, I wanted to point out.
Questions trying to get out of control. I can't keep up with them all now.
D did something special though that I want to.
What's that? Oh, super chat.
Oh,
that's
2022. Oh, that's so cool.
That's a good picture of you, Dina.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Andrew.
Thank you. It's got to be a better year. You're right.
Bound to be a better year.
I'll tell you what.
Well, that's good.
Scotia is good.
That's good. Wow.
Yeah, Scotia's good.
All right, here's a question from Undercover Judge. I think it's a great question. It's not our format, so we'll talk about it. But so can we guys do a review where we write down everything first, score, and then go around and see if your scores are alike?
That would be a cool. I like that idea actually.
We've done a little bit of that on some of our reviews, depending on what they
have.
were. Not our typical formatted review, and I understand where the question comes from.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because you do get a group thing for when there are four of us. We don't always perfectly agree, but there is definitely some manipulation of our ideas based on what others are saying.
Sure.
Now, in all fairness, I know where the question's coming from, and I see. But even if we did it that way, we've been doing this long enough with the four of us, with us together, that I think you'd still have the similar what you end up with. I mean, honestly, it got to a point when we were really cranking reviews out. I could sit here and nose and taste a whiskey, and before Andrew would say a word, I know where he's coming. I know where he's coming in. Yeah. I mean, I might not nail him right on the head and say a 2.5, but I'm like, he's either a 2.5 or a 3, or he's either a 2. Yeah, I mean, we get to know each. We're learning each other's palates as much as we're learning our own. So it's kind of one of those things. But I understand where that question's coming from, and I think it would be interesting and fun.
We could experiment. That's a great idea. We'll figure something out. Yeah. We can put something together like that. That's a good idea.
All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, we're going to do an Indiana whiskey review, a whiskey show, reviewing French Lick, Starlight, Remus Reserve. That's something we haven't done. These are all Indiana distilleries.
I just had one tonight. I just had I had the reserve. Yeah, here you go. Spirits of French Lick. Lee W. Sinclair, 4-grain bourbon, not 3, not 5.
I think
4.
I like the idea of doing that, and I think what we need to do is find time, which is the proper word, time, for all four of us to try, or whoever can make it. I'd actually like to go down because it's close and make a trip,
right,
and do it correctly. Film the whole thing, grab something, maybe even do tastings there, and come back and do a proper tasting. I think that would be fun to do. So I wouldn't mind doing something like that. You know, maybe even having Porter go down, because I know he's a big fan of all of those as well.
Yeah, he's an expert. He's a local expert on it too.
Yeah, he's got
I think a bottle over there for him too.
We got 2 or 3 bottles for him over there from Zach.
Yeah, so we'll hook it up. But I think so. I can't remember who asked the question, but I think for sure.
It's going.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely do something like that this year. It's gonna happen.
All right. How about this from Lee?
Who's this person? Scotch in the Bayou. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. How do you travel whiskey, or do you buy something once you? That's a great question, and it's funny you say that.
That's a softball. She pitched that up for us.
Yeah,
she totally did.
I know she did.
So
we've had success traveling with it, but we've heard horror stories of those who have not. Let's just say that.
I think with whiskey, traveling or shipping is always, you're rolling the dice no matter what you do. I think I personally, it depends on where I'm going and who I'm seeing. Because I would always say I would like to take, because whiskey is for sharing, so I would always want to take something if possible. But I also like buying locally too, because they're always different, right? The liquor stores,
sure,
they're always neat. That's one of my favorite things to do. Hell, when we went to
the Bachelor's Ball, huh?
Yeah, we went to, how many liquor stores did we go to? And we were like kids in the candy shop, right?
It's a new place, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
now so the rules, just I know Scotch in the Bayou knows this, but you're not going to check a bag with alcohol, right? So you're not going to carry on a bag. You have to check the bag, right? And you can get away with that. Heck, we've brought back suitcases full from New York that we had to weigh in the apartment before we left for the airport, and it was 49.5 pounds.
Ooh, it's close.
So yes, that's not a problem. You can get away with doing that, no problem all day. Even if you try to pack a sample bottle like this in your carry-on, and let's say it's less than the 3-ounce rule or whatever, TSA is not going to have it. They're going to take it away because it's not in a a commercially sealed bottle or whatnot. But
I'm not sure that's true though.
well,
I've
Drew and I
traveled
brought
with-
them back from. We did bring back 2 sample bottles from. Where are we coming from?
Was it Texas?
Was it Texas? No,
Yeah.
because wasn't Andrew with us in Texas?
Yeah, I was there.
What, did we? Where was that?
We were coming back from somewhere.
Napa.
Yes,
That was Napa trip.
we had small little bitty sample bottles like this, and the TSA agent pulled our bags aside, and he took Drew first.
Because we had them in carry-ons, right?
Yeah, and Drew literally said, "I know what you're looking for." He's like, "It's a little bottle of whiskey," and the guy pulled the screen up. He's like, "That," and Drew's like, "Yeah, that's it. I can show you where it is." And he pulls it out, and it's a bottle just like this. I mean,
Just taped up and sealed.
taped up and sealed, but
It didn't have official label on
no,
it.
it had a handwritten label. And he's like, "All right, guys, look." He goes, "I'll let you take it." He goes, "But I'll tell you what, not all TSA agents are. So if you guys have to get checked in another airport, they're probably going to take it away from you. I'm cool with it. You guys just put it away, And so then when he grabbed my bag, I go, "I have the exact same bottle." And
Same situation.
and he just laughed and said, "Get out of here," type of thing. But yes,
See,
we
it's
got away
interesting
with it.
because the word I've heard on that, and I guess we need official here. I've traveled with, like, traveling for work. I've traveled with a bunch of little bottles of whiskey. The retail or the travel size bottles of whiskey, whether they're full of the brand name or not, in my carry-on, because you can carry whiskey onto a plane as long as
That's
it's
what we thought too.
low volume, but you can't drink it on the plane.
Yeah, you can't do that. I know that for sure.
But if I bring 4 or 5 little bottles of whiskey on a plane, as long as it's up front and all that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think his issue was the label more than anything else. But who
Well,
knows?
but
I'll tell you
don't
this
label
much.
your mouthwash and you don't label your hair gel or anything like that.
I know that the security policy and procedure and posture, if you will, from TSA to TSA changes. So
Yep.
if you can afford it, pack it, check it, do it, and you're safe.
Well, I can tell you this much: it doesn't make a difference because they pinged both of us and took us inside. So
Yeah.
they're
So,
not getting.
Bob H
Yeah.
has the truth. Label those bottles as shampoo.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the trick.
The best shampoo in the world.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of comments on here. I've taken samples on a plane less than 3 ounces. Yeah, that was my experience too, Alejandro.
I got busted in the San Jose, California airport with a mini bottle of Tabasco. Got hassled big time.
Have you eaten eggs here? I love it because that's how I eat my eggs too. You gotta put Tabasco on it, man. Got to Frank's. Love it.
Oh, that's so funny.
No,
So it must be a California thing. They don't like people taking alcohol out of the state or something.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
don't think they like people anyway.
Maxim finally.
And then-
Oh, look at this guy. Haven't
And
seen
there
Eric
you
for a
go.
while.
It's 5 weeks. Yeah.
There you
5
go.
years luggage.
Eric knows.
Yep.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Oh my gosh, that
And then-
I gotta tell you that experience coming back from New York that first time was a riot.
I can't believe we got through with that.
I mean, that
we came home
we
with
had a
20
big
Yeah.
box.
we had cases of
How
liquor.
did it make it back? I don't know how it did.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't drink your.
But
yeah.
hey, it's 10:54 and we didn't get to any of the news. I wanted to at least touch base on a couple of these articles
Yeah.
that going out. I mean, and maybe we don't even need to pull them up. I read most of them, but there's a couple of quick, interesting things that have happened in the Scotch industry world. The first is the SWA has a new CEO, which is interesting. This guy was an ambassador for Great Britain to, I want to say Argentina, Thailand, Argentina, yeah, Vietnam,
Mexico City, Brazil. He's been around.
Yeah, he's served the British Empire for a while, and now he is the new CEO of the SWA. The previous CEO, I can't think of her name, Kelly. Anyway, it should be in there. She came in on 2000. Karen Betts. She came in 2017. So she did a pretty good little run. And now this guy's taken over, and I'm just curious to see, how their posture changes and what kind of influence it has in the industry.
Yeah.
Do you know what Karen's history was? Because he's clearly just a politician, or he's a bureaucrat. he knows nothing about the Scotch industry or
Right. So I think
He's a
hers
beer
was a little bit more in line with the SWA, not quite as much as you'd like to see, but maybe that's what they need. You don't know. I mean, he's gonna turn the ship a little bit, and we'll see if it's for the better. That's why I just wanted to point it out, because it's something to keep an eye on. Whether it affects, maybe it affects the partnerships, the imports, the agreements between different countries. Who knows?
yeah,
But
maybe.
he also has that experience. Interesting.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. The other big one that I thought jumped off that to me was the Johnny Walker Master Blender.
Oh yeah, let me find that. Where's that at?
Can you bring those up so we can see them?
We're trying. We got to find him.
Yeah, he's got too many
We
pages.
read
open.
that one already.
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
did it.
Close that.
Too
All
many
right.
tabs open.
Not it. That's not it.
Not it. Not it. Not it.
Not it. This one's got to be it. No,
I don't
you
know.
didn't click it.
Which one is it?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I mean, you sent it to me in a Facebook Messenger too. So the master blender for Johnny Walker, who's been the master blender for the last 20 years, has now retired, and his successor has been named, and it's the first woman at the helm, and she's taken over the reins. And I mean, I read this going, oh my God, what's going to happen, right? Because this goes hand in hand with another story about there was an article about the best brands of 2021, right?
Oh,
so it was like the performance of the brands of 2024, 21. And what do you guys think was the number one brand of 2021? Johnny Walker. And it was Johnny Walker by a long shot. Johnny Walker is trending up, more up than Jeff Bezos' phallic rocket. I mean, Johnny Walker's going. But at the same token, they've got a new master blender. So, there's some, is it going to continue to trend this way?
Maybe they come out with some good stuff.
Yeah, this woman's going to come in with new ideas. Not saying that they needed new ideas or this guy was getting older or needed to be replaced, but it's also, in my mind, as a blender, a risk. This is the guy that makes sure that you get the same profile in your blend every bottle. And now
I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think that she's ready to rock some ships.
Yeah, because I mean, think about the volume that Johnny Walker does. How many non-master blenders or assistant blenders do they have making all the batches every day, day in, day out, thousands and millions of bottles of whiskey they're bottling every day?
Right.
That's a recipe.
Those guys are going to keep doing their job the way they're going to do. What she can do as master blender is create new lines.
Exactly.
Well, yes.
Because the Johnny Walker Black isn't going to change because she's master blender. Even
the old, the guy that's stepping aside, I can't believe I'm having a brain fart on his name. He was very adamant about saying he had a team of 9 blenders that did the work to keep Johnny Walker's machine rolling, and she's going to continue that. So, but she, like you're saying, those are going to be the consistent ones that make sure that the blends are the same. The recipe, everything's working. She's going to go out and create new, is what I would anticipate. But to spin this off on another article, Johnny Walker was number 1. What was number 2?
Well, I know, I see it, but
we've mentioned it. We talked about it, and someone raised a question about what our favorite blend was.
Monkey Shoulder.
Number 2 was Monkey Shoulder.
That is actually interesting because we talk about Monkey Shoulder all the time. It's a very good bottle for $30, and I'll tell you what, there's not a liquor store, dare I say even grocery store, that doesn't carry that they're selling alcohol. It's massively produced.
Monkey Shoulder secured the runner-up spot with ease to make it a solid 1-2 for blends. In other words, Johnny Walker and Monkey Shoulder were number 1 and number 2 in the 2000.
And Monkey Shoulder's only been out for 5 years, 6 years.
No, I don't think
actually, no, it's been long. It's actually been longer than that.
You think?
Yeah, there in one of these articles it mentioned when it actually came out, but basically William Grant and Sons, who owns Monkey Shoulder, they just marketed the hell out of it aggressively, and it's a good blend. I mean, when you got
Everything
a good
about
product,
that
it sells
bottle,
itself.
it's a good bottle. It's a good blend of great
Right.
product, and their marketing is genius. And so they've done a good job, and they hit it in the right time when Scotch is hot, and the blends are getting kind of not as popular, but people are looking for a cheap, good Scotch. It's a great marketing material.
Everyone had the question. It's Balvenie, Glenfiddich, and it's not Glenfiddich though. It's Balvenie, Glenkinchie, and
Kilvinny.
What would you say? Balvenie,
Glenfiddich?
Glenfiddich, Balvenie, and Kinnevy.
Kinnevy, thank you. I couldn't think of it. Kinnevy.
Yeah, those are the three.
So it's a blended malt. So number one is Johnny Walker with their million different blended scotches. And then number two is Monkey Shoulder with one brand. With one type of bottle. They got one. I mean, I guess they have Smoky Monkey.
Yeah, Smoky Monkey, but it can't.
Very limited. So one bottle is the other.
One bottle is killing it.
And then the third one was Balvenie.
Yep.
Actually took third, and that's the
over
first
Macallan.
one.
Over Macallan, which was
Over
number
Macallan,
4.
yes.
That's interesting. Balvenie.
So Johnny Walker, Monkey
Talisker
Shoulder.
made it this line too. You know what's interesting, Andrew? Here is, would you have figured Lefroy over Ardbeg, which is 9th?
Yeah. So hang on a second, though. 1, 2. Out of the top 10, there are 4 blends.
That's right. So Johnny Walker, Monkey Shoulder, Balvenie, the Macallan, Lefroy, Talisker, Glenfiddich, Chivas Regal, Ardbeg, and Dewar. So Dewar, Chivas, Monkey Shoulder, and Johnny Walker. And Johnny Walker is obviously leaps and bounds, but this is best-selling brands.
Best-selling brands of 2021.
So Steve A put a comment: when you blend something and do a good job of it and market it at exactly the right time, it's a win. And it's
That's
right.
True. That's exactly right.
They marketed the crap out of it, but it's also good whiskey. And so once you get it in somebody's hands, they will buy another bottle. And that's what
we always talk about Monkey Shoulder as a great gateway, either from bourbon or as an intro into whiskey. It really is.
That's for sure.
Now, the irony is if you spin this article, they've got another list, the top trending brands. So that was the top selling brands, right, of 2021. The top trending brands is still Johnny Walker number 1. That's interesting, actually. But Macallan jumps to number 2, above Monkey Shoulders number 3. And right behind that is Compass Box, which
that's cool too.
John's climbing the ladder. He's going to take over.
So what do you mean by trending? That's
what I was going to ask. Yeah,
that's so trending could be they have the most buzz on the social media.
Right. What does that mean? It isn't. I mean, they're the best at marketing and socialing their information.
Well, I mean, it could mean they have the highest increase.
There's a methodology. The results of the report are a culmination of a questionnaire of 106 bars around the world. So they sent out questionnaires to 106 different bars globally, and based on those questions, they were able to say they had the sales reports for the first list, and that the trending was the answers.
What's number 10?
Naked Malt. I don't know. What is Naked Malt? I would say Naked Grouse because it's a single malt. I mean, a blended malt. But
how would that be trending? Naked Grouse isn't a trending. I mean, it's a good bottle, but I don't ever see it really advertised.
So Stephen wants a link. Do we have a link we can post?
Yeah.
It's. I'm gonna copy it. I think I can paste it.
And then Steve is like, "Oh, bars are answering." Okay.
Oh.
Here's the link, I think.
I mean, they said they had sales numbers for there we go. So the link is in the comments. If you want to go see what this report is, hit that link and then it should take you right there.
Yeah, it's an interesting link. I mean, it makes you scratch your head. It makes you obviously a couple of them are like, yeah, but duh. But there's a few and they're like, wow. I'm really that's why I think too Naked Grouse. But it's interesting. The trending stuff doesn't really bother me, but the selling stuff, that's very interesting. And
is Naked Malt really the new name for Naked Grouse?
Is it really?
It's been confirmed twice on this comment feed.
Okay, that's good to know. I did not know that.
So what are they pulling naked grouse out of the grouse family? Because you have famous grouse.
Well, it's a great marketing tool
smoky
because
grouse.
that's exactly what you're saying. There's smoky grouse, there's famous grouse, and then there's naked grouse. No, naked malt.
So they're saying, and you know what? I think we might actually
different.
mention this. We talked about this months ago on one of our shows. I don't remember naked malt being the name, but
It makes sense from a marketing because it does stand out from the other grouses, I think. And it's because it's more of a cherry influence.
They should call it the malted grouse or something, I suppose. But either way,
yeah, or the sherry grouse.
Well, naked is kind of trendy.
Well, naked is very trendy. But at the end of the day, we'll move on here. But the Lafroig over Ardbeg still is very interesting to me. I'm wondering why Lafroig sells more than Ardbeg. That's very interesting. I mean, they're both very good distilleries, but I would have bet Ardbeg over Lafroig.
I think Lafroig actually produces more.
Maybe.
Well, and I think I've seen Lafroig on more retail stores shelves than Ardbeg.
Yeah, maybe
10 everywhere. Lafroig 10's everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Naked malt. I like it. Hey, maybe the next bottle of naked grouse I buy is actually a bottle of naked malt.
That's just what you need.
I don't want a picture of that. Don't send a picture, please.
Hey, now.
All right. Let's pass time.
So, wow, that was fun.
That was fun.
I would say, what do we got going on? We do have some things going on.
We've got a lot of stuff going on in the wheelhouse. New reviews. We talked about some stuff with bourbon this year. I think we're going to bring back the podcast. Hello, Krista. I haven't talked to you yet, but we're bringing back the podcast. That's coming back up. What else? The beginner's guide, the 4 Dummies guide series is going to continue. We've got Ardbeg teed up. We don't have one after that. Obviously, we have a few ideas. You just mentioned Balvenie. Yep.
But I want to throw it out there to folks, especially our patrons. If you guys want to see a Dummies guide, a lineup of a particular brand and or distillery.
I mean, the sellers list already is the blueprint.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that we should just use that sellers list, right? What's trending? There you go. But I also would rather get
naked monkey shoulder for dummies. All right, this is
one bottle
monkey shoulder. All right, thank you very much.
All right, see you next time.
Hit the like and subscribe, please.
We're getting back to the reviews. We're gonna start doing reviews. One thing we'll just go ahead and be honest is getting all 4 of us together has been extremely hard the last few months because of lots of reasons, as you can expect. We're going to do reviews regardless of going forward. We need to start trimming some out. We've got great bottles that we have been acquiring that we need to get out. So that's coming up. We've got some unique reviews coming up.
Dummies is trending worldwide.
I hope so. That's really cool to hear. But a happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Happy Thursday. It's great to see everybody. I'm glad you all had survived the holiday season and made it into 2022. I hope it's your year. If you hit that Powerball, keep us in mind.
Dummies loves you.
Love you from all heart. Aside from that, I guess I should pour something to cheers everybody off on. Oh, wait, hang on. He's gonna pick something. Man, he's gonna pick me something bad. What is that?
I don't know.
Glendronach single cask 1994 PX.
I think that's a pretty good one.
20-year-old.
I think it's a pretty good one.
Where'd that come from?
It was right there in the front.
I don't know who's it from.
I think that's from Whiskey Crossing.
Whiskey Crossing?
I think.
I love it. If I could get it open, shit, it's frozen.
Yeah, it's been down there for a while.
He's gonna break it.
I got it. I was afraid of that.
Yeah, don't break the bottle.
Don't break it.
Andrew, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, we'll get all 3 of us back together. Hopefully, Sean can make it. We'll get reviews done. We got lots of stuff coming up. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
3, 2, 1.